Let's talk about it. Hungrybox versus SDJ resulted in a victory for HBox, but a broken and defeated chair thrown on stage. Blur, you've done battle with HBox over destruction of tournament property in the past. Many TOs and pundits on Twitter took to calling for HBox to be punished or fined, arguing that if it were anybody else, they'd be caned on the spot for destroying this chair. Let's start with the Crimson Blur. Is it worth the entertainment value if we lose valuable venue property along the way? And is this, as Hungrybox said yesterday, and I quote, the most anyone has talked about Melee in years?
Well, did you pay for the chair? Do the TOs have to pay for it? This is the only question that matters to me. The TOs have to pay for the chair.
If I paid for the chair?
Did you pay for the chair? Did the TOs get fined?
I asked Max and the production staff captain 3 times, what's your PayPal? And 3 times I was told, don't worry about it.
Like in the Bible.
You know what they said? They said, we have a lot of chairs here. I think you're fine.
They might. Well, I don't know what the venue might charge them. They might not want to, ruffle your feathers. They want to see you back in an event. I don't know what the actual truth on that is anymore. But having said that, I honestly don't care as much of the people on Twitter. I know they're like, oh, someone could have gotten hurt. No one could have gotten hurt in this particular case. He put it down on the stage. It is something that I don't want to encourage too much. But at the same time, like, it is getting a bit of a spectacle out of it, and no one actually got hurt. If the show itself doesn't have a problem with it, I don't have that much of a problem with it. Just don't throw it into the crowd, Juan. Be careful. Control yourself.
You can quote me on this. Hey, Blur. You can quote me on this. If anyone ever gets actually hurt from one of my pop-offs, I will remove myself from the scene for a year minimum, because everyone thinks I'm like this uncontrollable, like, spastic, like, whatever it is, like, is gonna explode. I'm gonna throw the chair at someone. Like, it's very simple to not like to aim what you do things at. Like, yeah, I have adrenaline rushing, but I'm also not a fucking moron. And so it's also like there's no universe to me where that happens. There was like one time where I jumped up after I beat Kadoran at one of the pounds 2 years ago, where I jumped up. I didn't throw a chair. I just jumped up, and the chair fell over behind me and then landed into some guy into the crowd very gently. But that wasn't me throwing it. It was just me jumping up and doing it.
Yeah.
Well, like, if that ever happens, I won't. That's
more of like a Shamu situation.
I will gladly remove myself from this thing. That's how confident I am. Look, I'm just like, it's like I said in my video. I'm just like, I'm passionate as shit about this game sometimes, and to do like a reverse 3-0 in the most mind melting matchup in the entire game, you have to put like 130% of yourself into that set, more than you're comfortable putting in. That's the only way that you win. You have to really put so much that when it finally happens, you explode a bit, because of that's that stressful. But I don't regret a single thing. I'll do it 20 more times, because that's what I felt in the moment, and that's who I am. And I'm not going to go to
one of the woke warriors who tried to cancel you, Edwin.
Well, the chair thing was
thanks, Edwin, for that. I appreciate that, buddy.
The chair thing had nothing to do with why I was canceling.
Oh, no, I know, but I know exactly what you were saying there too. And frankly, Edwin, I am disappointed that you fucking did a reach of that angle.
It wasn't a reach. It was totally appropriate.
No, go on Twitter. Someone explain to what's going on.
It made me feel bad, because I'm just like, fuck. At what point can I even say anything that I used to?
That is Edwin's job.
I felt like I have to apologize, so I did.
Yeah, I gave you props for it.
Someone tell me what's going on. Why don't go on Twitter?
Edwin?
I just think
he did an oopsie. He
Do
apologized.
you really think I have anything against anyone?
This is what I think. I've interacted with your fan base enough times over that I think you and I don't have a problem with, like, you specifically, but I think when you put something out there, like, whether it's an explicit statement, there are going to be young people that take it the wrong way, right? That's what I was talking. I don't think it's not about, like, what you hold in your heart or whatever, right? It's about how, like, a bunch of impressionable people lose, like, what you're trying to say and take other things from it that you don't mean, right?
I have a second take in response to that. I think that your tweet, and actually not just yours, but like, it was like 5 different people, angled their tweet responses in a way that made it seem far, far, far worse than what it actually was. In fact, it wasn't me
apologized for telling somebody to suck your dick, right?
as if I'm the first person to ever say that. It's like I understand why, but it's like in the moment.
Blair,
it's
also
also
only
like
a medium
it's
funny.
all
And
the
this is
woman
not
this second.
actually
you know
what
how
I'm
many
super
times I've
interested
heard
in.
Mango say "suck my dick" and no one gives a fuck.
But he knows you if he says that to you.
It just makes
he
me
knows you.
angry. All right, and then but then because
I
of
hear
the
you.
angles, because of everything that happened, I felt it that it was important to clarify. It was important to
And that was
apologize.
very good.
It
was
just
good.
sucks that I can't blow off some steam every once in a while without it
Yeah.
being the end of the fucking world, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
come on.
Let me just say on the topic of the chair.
This shit happens. Sorry, my fucking bad. It's
I think
like
on the topic of the chair, I had no problem with it.
I know. I'm talking specifically.
Yeah, it was.
I'm talking
the tweet
specifically.
was
I didn't want you to have to re-apologize. I thought the apology was fine.
Yeah,
it was
I'm
well
not-
written
I'm not-
and
yeah,
discreet.
I'm not
just
looking for
like,
another.
Blur, you
apology.
could go look this up in the background while we're talking about it. Toph, why have you never thrown a chair?
Bring it back
That's
to
what
the
I'm
chair.
trying to ask.
That's exactly right. I'm gonna bring it back to the chair thing. I watched the chair thing on my stream. I analyzed it quite deeply.
Ooh,
I have a lot.
Huh?
I narrated the whole thing. I was also looking a lot at SDJ because I was thinking if SDJ cluster just set out, they might have an
That's what I
SDJ
was-
pop off, and I
yes.
was curious what that would look like. Probably not chair related, but I don't know that much about SDJ. That's
There
a
is
very
only
interesting
one
angle.
better kind of
To me.
timeline, and that's SDJ throwing a chair.
Precisely. Listen, the question at the end of the day, I think it boils down to, is there any real sense of danger?
Right.
I think this time, and you know what? If you'll really look at it, HBox does a throw, damages the chair, whatever, picks it up
I
again.
saw discretion.
And there was exactly. Then no one's talking about this. There was a moment where HBox was like, you know what? I'm done here. And I think that moment, I feel like it really opened my third eye and it made me really understand HBox a lot more as a person. Where I was like, dude, this you're operating on so many wavelengths right there. There's so many wavelengths that are happening in your brain.
All right.
I've always said that in the 5 minutes, 10 minutes after a tournament set, a lot of shit goes down that gets taken back later. People get salty. People say things that they don't really mean. I've seen some of those net play tournament sets between Moki and HBox where Moki says, blah, 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 this guy. And then I see HBox go to Moki's chat. And then 5 minutes later, they're like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I have no idea what I'm talking about. You're actually really good at the game. And I have a lot of respect. And it's like, it immediately squashed. 5 minutes after they said there's a statute of limitations, a lot of crazy shit happens in those 5 minutes. And I would say, if anything, that was kind of tame. I was ready.
I think we should ban phones. We should ban in 10 minutes after a set. Phones should be banned from every top player.
We can all agree on
We will
that.
say
Put your phone in
arguably
the
the
bucket.
dumbest shit ever in our minds. It is a drug pumping into our brain after a set. We need time. We got to put in the corner. We got to say, no, Juan, Mango, sit in the corner, 10 minutes and think. So much beef would be avoided. And if I'm saying this too, if I want to mention it, the Moki thing you said too, he called playing me a waste of time. GG's, have fun and losers. To me, that was super unexpected. In fact, I was so surprised by it that I didn't respond to it because not even a month ago or 2 months ago, Moki came up to me. I forget what tournament it was. And he just said, dude, I want you to know everything I say online or on stream when we fight, it's all just shit talk. And honestly, and the real truth is I respect everything that you do. And I respect everything you do and what it takes to win, even all the camping, even everything, because it means you're trying. And I was really happy he said that. And then he turns around and tweets that shit out. I'm just like, Moki, are we not camping the fuck out of each other? Is this not the same
Is this
song
not a
and
dance between two
we've been
lovers?
doing for a long ass time? I was sad more than anything when I heard that. I'm just like,
I'm gonna be real as the Fox player here, bro, fucking Puff is one character that should absolutely have the right to complain about Fox. Fox is fucked up against Puff. Fox is fucked up against Puff, bro.
Fox
you have every right.
It's crazy. It's insane.
I am so
really
with
quickly.
you on
I'm not denying
Puff.
it. It's 60-40 minimum. It always will be. If a Puff wins, they're sick. If a Fox wins, they're patient. Case closed. Just fucking send it, dude, already.
Jack, I really want to bring this back to the chair for a second.
No,
sorry.
I haven't talked in a while. I haven't talked in a
It'll be
while.
quick.
Blur hasn't talked in a while, Edwin.
Blur, go ahead.
So here's the thing, right? I don't like the sterilization of all this stuff. If you just watch professional sports, Dirk Nowitzki kicked an exercise bike. There's a guy who punched a locker so hard he broke his hand and couldn't make the next playoff game, right? Kevin Durant pops off on people on Twitter just like HBox is doing here. Why do we want our scene to be different than a professional sports league? We have nothing. We need all the attention we can get. I like the drama. I like the intrigue. As long as people keep it within a certain
It gives us
It's not a
sound.
football
Keep
community.
it certain-
I
It's not a
keep it in
football
certain-
community.
fucking
There's
like
vibe.
these.
coaches who watch and the players who play.
I want there to be a certain balance to it, of course. I don't want you to be saying slurs or nothing like that. But as long as it's done in a way that within the
That's
context,
your one line.
bro.
What
as
about
long as
animal
within the context-
cruelty, Blur? What about animal cruelty?
Okay, don't do animal cruelty either, Jack. Okay, but just keep
I'm gonna
it
throw a
entertaining,
cat
keep
next
it-
time,
I
guys.
think we all
Watch this.
know-
Everyone
I think we all know.
everyone
Yeah, what
asked
about the
about
crab?
crab.
Was it alive?
What
Was it
about
dead?
crab?
Nobody ever
What
asks about the crab.
What
Nobody asked
Moki
about the
said is
crab.
fine. What
That's what I'm
H-Box said is
saying.
fine.
No
It's not
one
that
in the
big a
scene
deal.
will
What
ever
H-Box
throw an
said.
animal
Bro,
at
All
him,
right, let's
right?
move on to our
Edwin-
next
no, no, no.
topic.
If Edwin-
Stage
if Edwin
fright.
is saying-
That would be
Okay, fine,
terrible.
I'm
yeah.
gonna have to
We're-
No,
pause
if
it. Let
Edwin-
me find my mute
If
button.
Edwin's thing is saying that these kids find H-Box to be a role model, that's their fault. Pick Martin Luther King as your role model. Pick someone else.
Okay,
He's
a
Charles
video
Barkley.
game.
Martin
man,
Luther King
come
is
on.
not live 8 hours a day. If he was, I bet they
Pick
would.
someone else,
Let's
man.
move
Pick
on to our
Gandhi,
next
dog.
topic. Let us move on to our next topic.